Hi, welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Media Relations and Event Coordinator, and we will be right back with a little bit of things going on in Douglas. We're back from break. Welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show, and we have City of Douglas Commissioner Mr. Bob Moore here today with us, and I'm thrilled to have him here and have lots of questions for you today.
Glad to be here.
All right. Well, Commissioner Moore, this is something new that we're starting with the Douglas on My Mind show. We're trying to give all the city commissioners and elected officials time to, just come on and just update us, let us know what's going on. But first off, just tell me something about you for those people who may not know who you are, about you and yourself and your family. Have you always lived in Douglas?
Well,
just tell us about you.
I moved here in October '63.
Ooh.
I've been here ever since. I have a wife, Barbara. I've married to her 62 years. I have 3 children. Terry is 60. Scott's 59 and Jody is 50.
Ooh, don't tell her age.
She's still young.
Young. Mm-hmm.
And I have 5 grandchildren. I have 2 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
And I have been on City Commission. This July will be 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And
Does that make you the longest?
Well, after July, Commissioner Anderson is the longest, and he retired. He's the longest serving commissioner that's ever been on the commission.
Okay.
And he retired 2 years ago.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I first ran for office in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And been a lot of changes going on in Douglas. I mean, we've one-way paired the Peterson, Madison.
Right.
And east and west 32's one way now.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't like it, but it helps move the traffic, and we are a city of about less than 12,000 people.
Right.
We have been that way for about 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But in our county, we have we're larger than Ware County, nearly as big as Tifton. We got about nearly 43,000 people in the county. A lot of those people, come to Douglas for their employment.
Right, and we also have out-of-town people that come to Douglas.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I would really like to know how many, quote, the population during 9 to 5 is in the city of Douglas.
Oh, yeah.
And the people, come out of town and edge of town, to come from Bay Meadows, Green Tree, and different places like that to work. And we've got a good city. It runs very well. We have had a few problems over the years, but seem to work them out. We have a mayor and 6 commissioners.
Yes, sir.
And so it's a thing of getting along and doing what's right, not what's your pet peeve or whatever.
Right.
Trying to.
Sometimes you have to put personal feelings to the side.
Yeah, that's true. You do what's best for the people, not what's best, say, for you or me. And we've done a few things that I wish I hadn't been a part of. Not that great, but I mean, there's still things that we did that I was for that I wished I hadn't been for.
Yeah.
But as I say, all of our children live here in Douglas. And like I say, they finished school in Douglas. In fact, Johnny went to school, played football with my boys. And the boys, I mean, people don't like to be called boys, but they're still my boys.
Right.
And as I said, it's been an interesting time over the years. And the thing about it, as Jake Hess used to say, old age ain't for sissies.
That's true. That's true. You touched on it just a little bit about some of the things that you've seen while you've been in office. What are some of the best things that you've seen happen over the years for Douglas?
Well, one-way pairing has been the best thing, and Douglas wouldn't have succeeded in getting some of the industries in here that we have, like, you know, we lost Golden Poultry, and we regained Pilgrim's Pride, which employs a lot of people.
Right.
We've had a new hospital, a new new county jail, and we've got some more industries or businesses that's coming in. They're going to build some type of shopping center out where the old high school track and the high school building was.
Yes, that has been big discussion for a little while.
There's a lot of secretive things going on about it, but it will. Some of the things I've seen is it will be nice for everybody, and everybody's wanting to. When I came here, there was a Chandler's and a Dairy Queen, and what was a restaurant uptown, Gold Leaf Restaurant, and I Like It Restaurant. That was about all there was.
Right.
And then later on, we got McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC, Crystal, and just a lot of things. People do eat out. I know we do. I mean, my wife tells me it's cheaper to eat out than it is to cook.
Right,
So
especially when it's just one or two people.
Yeah.
And it's better on us females too, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's just switch it a little bit and tell me what have been some of the biggest challenges, or maybe some of the things that you wish could have gotten through but didn't quite make it, or anything like that.
Well, people, years ago, we had a place out by the airport called Flying Cowboy. We put out bids for a restaurant there, and we had a chance to get, what was the name of it? We got the Buffaloes. They were the highest bidder, but yes, and so they got the property, and they stayed a while and left, and it changed to finally St. Lyons bought it and made Flying Cowboy out of it. And,
Right.
and David Knight runs that now, or owns it, and it's been very successful for him. And we've got several new motels. Dr. What's his name?
Dr. Patel.
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 He built the Holiday Inn Express, and now he's built the Marriott's
Fairfield Inn and Suites.
Fairfield Inn.
Yes,
It's
sir. Right by the
third
airport.
level of Holiday Inn. I mean, of Marriott, and it's we've got the motels we used to, and we've got the airport. When I first came around, we had 3,500 feet at the airport, which is not long enough runway for jets and larger planes. And then we, along with Don Brooks' help and Jackie Wilson, she was big into that, and the FAA, we were chosen to increase that runway to a good little better than 6,000 feet now, which most anything can land. And that's been a big asset to Douglas as the extension of the airport, because they used to go to Alma and land, and they'd have to go and transport them back and forth, which was inconvenience. And I think that was one of the big things that helped get Walmart here.
Yes, sir. I know some businesses do like to see an airport nearby for whatever means they need it for.
And we there's only about 10 as large as we are in the state of Georgia, not counting Atlanta and Macon and Savannah and Augusta and Columbus, places like that. But for smaller towns. We've got a nice size airport, which and our industrial authority does a lot of getting industry. They build spec buildings and they get a prospect farm and people come in. I know Tecumseh came here and built a spec building and they enlarged it and then they finally moved. But then someone else came but we've been very fortunate working with the industrial authority and the chamber to and you know, this is one of the few places that the city, county government and the governments in the city of Bronxton, Ambrose, and Nichols, they get along. We meet once a quarter, and the school board. And I know my wife's born and raised in LaGrange, and one time one of the commissioners up there asked how we got along with the county commissioners. I said, good, we know who they are. We meet once a quarter, and we really good working relations. He said, we don't even speak to ours.
Wow.
And
how do they get anything done if they don't? I mean,
a lot of things they don't. But,
right.
It's why not get along? I mean, it's like people frown or smile. It takes more muscle to frown than it does smile.
That's right.
So that's the way to get along. You save less heartaches when you work together, and the saying goes, serve people better. And
that's right.
it's been a big asset working with the city and county, and as I say, it's I don't know any disputes in the 25 years I've been around that we've had. So that's always good. I mean, you don't like controversy.
Right.
And we try not to create any, and they don't either. So we just get along and do things together.
Do your business and go home at the end of the day.
Right.
You are the commissioner liaison, I believe, over the utilities department,
Yeah.
correct? Tell us what a commissioner liaison, basically, what do you do as that role over utilities?
What a liaison commissioner does, he talks with the department head, and department head has something that he's going to bring to the commission. He discusses it with that commissioner so that, and usually the mayor, if that commissioner agrees with what the department head says, he agrees with it.
Right.
And if you know, so more than one person is aware of what's coming up and coming from that department.
Yes, sir.
I know when Max Lockwood was mayor, if the liaison had not talked with the department head, he wouldn't even let him bring it up.
Well, that's a good thing.
But, now it works pretty good that you they sit down and discuss what they're going to have on the agenda, so
Right.
you're aware of it and it's not blindsided.
And that helps them out too, so if you have any questions,
Yeah,
you know.
we cleared up
Right.
before, and just like, for instance, you know, say, well, these people you're bidding on this, have you ever dealt with them before? Oh, yeah, well, you were satisfied with it? Yeah, so if they're satisfied with them, why not use them again, you know?
Right.
If they, you know, competitive, and usually they are, and that's been a big plus for that way, and it helps things run smoother.
Okay. Just recently, we had the mayor and commission voted in for y'all to start staggered terms.
Yes.
Kind of explain to us what is a staggered term
Well, it
and
means
how will
that
it affect us?
Everybody, like the county, they don't all run at the same time.
Right.
So this coming next year, everybody will run, but some will run for 5 years and some will run for 2 years.
Okay. Okay.
And then the next time they will all run for 4 years. And when they run, but they won't run at the same time. So that takes away the thing of everybody being new, or half of them being new and half of them older commissioners.
Yes, sir. And we were talking ahead, you know, before we started the interview, and you were saying how that would really help out as far as the way things run with the mayor and board of commission.
Because there would always be somebody around that is aware of what's taken place in the past, And then you can have, well, the same way with the liaison, you would have somebody that had to talk to about it.
Right.
Somebody knew about it. And instead of just being, you the only one knows what goes on, and no matter what I say, I don't know where I'm truthful or not.
Right.
So it's not that somebody's trying to be, not be truthful, it's just the fact that somebody is aware of the things and remembers the past history. And
I think that's going to be an added plus then.
yeah, and so that was a idea that come up because the county had done it several years ago, and as you know, they don't run this school board. I don't believe they run it. So I don't know if they've got staggered terms or not, but they should. It would be. I know it's going to be better for us and the city having staggered terms.
Okay, all right. You are the commissioner for Ward 6, and if any constituents need to contact you at any time, are you okay with that? How do you feel about people calling you after hours?
Well, I'm there to serve the people, and if somebody's got something that's on their mind, they call me. I get very few calls, and like I say, my number is 383-2011, my cell phone.
Yes, sir.
And so I never turn it off. So if anybody calls me, some people turn theirs off, but if you're going to serve the people, you need to be available when they want to call you.
Right.
Not be like somebody wants to call you 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But it's good that they know they can contact you, and you will give them an answer or get them an answer.
Right.
And help them solve whatever, if they've got a problem. Sometimes people call and just want to thank you for something that the city's done.
Right.
And just like the street department now is, we source that out to ESG, and they brought together a group of people, and they edged a sidewalk on Gaskins and Peterson and Madison, which hadn't been done for a few years, I have to say.
For a little while.
And a lady called and said she went out there to thank them, and they said, I'm not from here, I'm from Jessup, but I do appreciate you coming out. And she called to tell me, and she even came to the commission meeting one time to just say thank you for what they're doing, and it's good. I mean, you don't always, when somebody calls you, it's not always a complaint, it might be a compliment.
Right. You are right.
And like Ron Anderson used to say, when we were 2 and 3 wards, he and I were in 2 ward, it was Ward 6 then, but there was 2 of us served in it. And he was kidding, he said, now if you got any compliments, call me, if you got any complaints, call Bob. So, but it's not always a complaint when they call.
Right.
They do call, and they appreciate that being done, and you always try to, somebody called and has a complaint, get them an answer.
Right.
Or tell them, you'll try to get them an answer. It may not always be what they want. Like a man said one time, no is an answer.
That's right. As long as you tell them something and you're truthful with them, that's it. All right. Well, Commissioner Moore, is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap this little interview up?
No, not that I know of. I just appreciate the opportunity of serving the people of the entire city, not just Ward 6.
Right.
But the entire city, and we all communicate, and we try to do what's best for the people. Like I say, we have their own gas system. We have our own electric system. Very seldom will you ever be without lights for any length of time.
Right.
The other night, a squirrel got in a thing and blew up one of the transformers, and a few places were out lights, but they could switch it somewhere else. See, they looped the city so that if that happened, they could connect you another way, and you would have lights.
Right.
And they worked on that for several days, and it was a very expensive squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the MEAG people that is MEAG, stands for Municipal Electric Association of Georgia, and there's 49, I believe 49 cities that belong to that, and we and Georgia Power and REA all buy electricity off these big lines you see around coming from these nuclear plants.
Right.
And the city has a very competitive rate, and even though the city is governed by the mayor and commission, where Georgia Power is governed by the Public Service Commission.
Right.
So if they want to go up on rates or go down on rates, they have to get approval of the Public Service Commission.
Okay.
And ours falls back on the mayor and commission.
So it's kind of the same type of board.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Commissioner Moore, we really do appreciate you being here, and we'll have to get you back on here another time.
Well,
ask some more questions.
Yeah. I mean, you don't ever know till you ask. And,
That's right.
People, it's funny how people, I don't know why, but they confuse me with Ronnie Anderson. They'll come up and say, which one are you? I said, what you mean? And they said, are you Anderson or Moore? I said, well, I'm Moore. But we were up at DJ's eating one night, and a man, very sharp fellow, he had muscular dystrophy, though, and he asked, could he ask me a question? I said, sure. He said, are you twins? I said,
Oh,
man,
no.
don't you know I look better than he does?
All right. Well, Commissioner Moore, we appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, Blondell.
All right. And we'll be right back with more Douglas on My Mind. Hi, welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. Now we have two special guests here today with us from Coffee Alliance for the Arts, Mr. Jim Cottingham and Allison Adcock. Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can y'all tell us just what is Coffee Alliance for the Arts? I know what it is, but somebody listening may not.
Coffee Alliance for the Arts is a nonprofit organization that seeks to promote the arts in Douglas and Coffee County. So we do this with a number of activities and fundraisers, but we're a nonprofit organization and promoting the arts and scheduling things and trying to help make them happen and create a community that we all want to live in. That's the whole goal of the promoting the arts in Douglas and Coffee County.
Right. Now, y'all do have like a board that actually goes through and tells y'all what to do each year, or how do you go about becoming a member on the board?
Allison, you want to jump in on that?
Sure,
We are both
sure.
board members, so
Okay, well, there you go.
here we go.
How did y'all get elected?
Short straw. For this program, we drew the short straw.
Yeah, it's pretty casual. We meet once a month. We actually meet currently at the Catfish House, so we'll meet and eat a good dinner and talk about what we want to work on for the upcoming month or later on in the year. We always have sort of a short-term project going on, and then we have a long-term project that's in the works. And we have things that we do annually. So it's real simple, real casual, just people who enjoy the arts and want to see the arts being encouraged in the community, getting together and figuring out ways to make that happen.
Okay.
Yeah,
So would a
fun.
person contact somebody who's already on the board?
Yeah, fun thing about it, somebody's been involved with one of the activities and said, hey, this is really kind of neat if I can ever help, and yes, you can help. I mean,
Absolutely.
we need you. So, as far as the board goes, just we're a self-perpetuating board, so we seek new members to just kind of keep things going, and that's the way it's been since, I guess, the Arts Alliance was probably founded in the 1970s. And board just helps keep things going.
And we have people of so many ages, we'll have them as young as in their early 20s and then going right on up. So we're all learning from each other.
And that's
And
good.
lots of fresh ideas and lots of traditional ideas, so it makes it work.
All right. Well, what programs or events do y'all have coming up this year?
Start us off.
Hey,
I'll jump in.
well, monthly, as a fundraiser, we have a monthly movie night. Allison, you want to mention a couple of things coming up on that?
Well, we'll have Field of Dreams for the month of March.
Okay.
So, and then in April, what's coming up in April? Oh, you've got our list.
There you go.
Dr. Cunningham came with lots of
Let's
Lots
say
of
list.
lots of information. Here we go. In April, we're going to show Grease on April 17th. So it's the third Tuesday of every month, and it's at the Rockin' 8 Cinemas. And so you just go in, and it's a $5 ticket.
Okay.
You purchase it from one of us, and we show all of these classics that haven't been on the screen in decades,
Yeah.
and you get to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, a lot of folks say we've seen these things. We just like to see them on the big screen. And
Right.
here we go. So that's the third Tuesday of every month at 6:45. April, every Wednesday in April, we're having Munch and Music.
Oh, that's a tradition.
And
there.
that's a
Yes.
tradition, and that's been our longest going thing, every Wednesday noon in April at Emma Ward Park. And I was by there yesterday, and the flame azaleas are blooming, and everything's beautiful, and it's just going to be absolutely wonderful. And we've got some extraordinary talent lined up for those Wednesdays. Our president, Joanne Dana, did a lot of the heavy lifting and recruiting the talent. And Allison, if you'll tell about the first Wednesday, I'll tell about the second.
Okay, sounds good.
Great.
So the first Wednesday, if you like beautiful piano music, you don't want to miss the first Wednesday. Gray McKinnon is going to be there, and he is magnificent. He plays for several local churches. He plays at weddings, and he truly loves playing piano. And what he's going to do, he's going to sort of put out a post on social media a couple weeks before saying what are some things that you guys would be interested in hearing.
Oh, wow.
And
So
so
you
he's
put in
going
a personal
exactly
request.
put in a personal request, and he's going to play hymns and just everybody's favorite. It's going to be sort of a play your favorite hymn kind of deal. And if I know Gray as good as he is, he'll probably take requests that day too and just play it off the cuff.
Right.
But he'll be our first Wednesday.
Great.
The second Wednesday, I'm seated next to one of the vocalists.
Oh.
Allison Adcock and Anna Grace, the instrumentalist, are teaming up to do April 11th. So looking forward to that.
Okay, that'll be nice.
Yeah, and Anna Grace is multi-talented. She plays violin, guitar. She's learning to play piano, but I'm sure you'll hear from her violin, guitar that day, and vocals. And then I'll be doing vocals as well. And we sing all kinds of things: gospel, older country, bluegrass, just kind of a variety.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know I was sitting next to a school.
That's right. I mean, right here. I mean, yeah. So that's you heard it here, Blondale. I mean, this
There
is
you go.
just this is cool.
The first interview.
Yeah.
We have a good time with it. So,
Good.
so we hope everybody else.
So following them on the 18th, Evie Woodward and Katie Gillis are coming back again, and they just sing so beautifully, and just a real
Such a good
crowd
voice.
pleaser last year, and just delighted that got a repeat performance. This is going to be good.
And if I'm not mistaken, Evie does a lot of the newer songs, and so it really pulls out a younger audience, that maybe wouldn't want to hear a lot of the older stuff, but she does a lot of modern music, more updated music. So it's definitely a good one for the older crowd and the younger crowd to come out to and have a listen.
Yeah. So it's 12 to 1 each Wednesday, and folks often bring their snack lunch there and their cookies for sale and juice and Cokes and water and that kind of thing. So it's just it's a fun way to spend Wednesday noons in April. The last Wednesday of the month will be combine the show choir and the jazz, the two CHS groups.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard the show choir several times.
They're
Now,
wonderful.
The jazz group, I don't know if I've heard them before.
Yeah, so
You
it's
will be delighted.
It's the jazz band. So
Okay.
you have Steve Myers and the jazz band, and then Tanya Myers and the show choir. And it's so
They'll put on
good.
a show,
And they will
no
put
doubt.
on a show. It is
Yeah.
wonderful.
They are really talented. Now, well, we've already talked about the dates and talking about who's performing for Munch Music, and it's an annual event every year in April, every Wednesday. And y'all also have another annual event every year, I believe, ever since I can remember. Missoula, and I may mess this name up, Missoula
It's not hard
Children's
to.
Theater.
It's a
Yes.
tough word.
I think y'all normally have auditions coming up in the summer, and then a play at the college. So
That's right.
let's-
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
Yes, ma'am. So it's Missoula Children's Theater, and it kicks off in June, and it's sort of a week-long kind of deal. The kids get there on a Monday, and we have starting with first grade age on up into senior in high school. So, if you have a child that goes to school, essentially, they're eligible, or is school age.
So if anybody has any drama queens in the
Oh,
family.
yes. Send the
Bring
drama
'em up.
queens. Send even the ones who just want to be organizers and want to serve as an assistant director.
Okay.
Because they have those available too. So they have on-stage and off-stage parts, but they audition on Monday and then they rehearse Tuesday through Friday. Depending on the role, the kid may not need to be there every single day. They might need to be there just once or twice, but then they perform on the weekend.
Okay.
And this year they're doing Blackbeard.
that
And
should
so
be fun.
it's wonderful. The Missoula folks do a great job of keeping the kids occupied and giving them a really strong role. So.
Yeah, they're a traveling group of professionals that bring out the best in these, and it's on the big stage at South Georgia State College and Peterson Hall, and just terrific.
Do they build the sets and everything?
The sets-
Missoula brings the sets with them and costumery and that kind of thing, so most of it's learning parts and learning movements and stage right and
That's a lot
stage.
of
Yeah,
Yes.
oh
I
yeah.
don't care what age you are.
It
That's
is.
a lot for a week.
It's
Yeah.
a great experience, especially in the summertime when they need a little bit more structure in their lives, So.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other events that y'all like to share that Coffee Alliance for the Arts has coming up? I know we've mentioned the movie nights and Munch Music and the Children's Theater, and is there any fundraising efforts or anything like that?
Fundraising. Blondell. Bless you, my child. Fundraising is an ongoing effort for us, and people chip in anywhere from $25 to $500 to just keep the organization going. You can imagine what it costs to bring performing artists in from out of town.
Right.
It's a big deal. Another thing we had not mentioned coming up in late March is Arts Week at Coffee High School. It's part of the STEAM program: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So bringing in photographers and other people just to show how mathematics and engineering and art fit into their professions. And so that's a very labor-intensive week for us at Coffee High School. But it's very satisfying, and students throughout the grades there at Coffee High participate. So that's coming up in March. And
All right.
good.
Is there anything else y'all would like to share with the community, or is there a number where they can reach someone if they have any questions?
Of course, they're at liberty to call us. Our post office box number is 2823. That's 31534 here in Douglas, Georgia. Just
That's to make
coffee.
donations to.
That's
That's
yeah,
right. That's
Coffee
right.
Alliance for the Arts.
Okay.
But if they can contact any member of the board, we'd be delighted to talk with you more and maybe our executive editor back there can flash some addresses and that kind of thing for us as we go along, but that would be super. Blondell, turnabout is fair play. If time permits, would you please tell us the origin of your beautiful name, Blondell?
Oh, that was that was my grandmother's name. She was a McQueen from Florida, but yes, that was her middle name, and my first name was also given to me by my grandmother. So both names are family names.
And your other grandmother?
Ruby.
So you're named after both of your grandmothers. How sweet is that?
That's
I mean,
love
that's
that.
touching.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ruby
that's
Blondell.
yeah.
Most people know me by Blondell unless you
yeah,
went to school with me and
yeah,
you heard Ruby.
yeah. Well, that's super.
Yeah.
That's good to know. We speaking for the Coffee Alliance for the Arts, we so appreciate this opportunity to meet with you and talk up the arts in this community. And the city of Douglas has been so supportive. I mean, just with the beautiful event in the park. You know, Emma Ward Park, oldest park in
It
Douglas.
was the oldest park in Douglas, and I looked up the other day, and I believe it was built in like 1953
Much earlier.
or 43. 53.
The city may have, the city came into that property in the teens.
Okay.
Mayor Calvin Ward donated the property to the city, and later his wife died, Emma, and the city named the park after her.
Okay.
So the Emma Ward Park, it's been there. There's the women's club house was the library there in the corner, part of the same structure. But yeah, it's a real source of pride for the community, and we're grateful for all the city support. Keep that going.
Yes, yes. It is a beautiful park, and anybody that hasn't been there, they need to go see it.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, well, I appreciate y'all being here. And
Thank you,
I told
Blondell.
Commissioner Moore a few minutes ago, you can learn something new every day, so you just shed some light.
That's all the fun. That's great. Thank you, Blondell.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show, and I'm here now with Mr. Henry Milholland, our City of Douglas Cemetery attendant, and he has an event coming up that I am happy to share with everyone. Normally every year we have a day on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And Henry, just tell us a little bit, what is a day on, and how do you tend to celebrate it with that being a holiday?
Okay, well, I blame it all on Terrell Jacobs. This is all his fault. Okay?
Right.
January 15th is Martin Luther King Day.
Yes,
and
sir.
usually on that day, what we call a day on instead of a day off. As you know, city employees are off that day.
Yes, sir.
We get together anyway, and we target a cemetery that needs cleaning up. And so far, we've done 6. This is our 7th year. There was one year Terrell decided to do another project. He didn't do too good, so he's back at cemeteries.
Well, y'all done a lot of good in the cemeteries and uncovered a lot of Coffee County and Douglas history in
We
the
sure have. Well,
process.
cemeteries are history.
That's right.
We've done Ward Cemetery, Green Acre Cemetery, Nichols Cemetery, New Salem Cemetery, and Ambrose. Oak Grove Cemetery is going to be the one coming up next.
Now, you do have somebody who partners with you every year to help with these
Well,
cemeteries,
our first
different
year,
people.
post 18, the American Legion, and we had Boy Scouts, we had ROTC folks. The years after that, Jerome Loving got involved with it with Post 515.
Yes, sir.
And they have really helped out a lot. We start out with breakfast at the post and then move out from there.
All right. So you get a good, nice full tummy to work off while you're out there.
and unfortunately, this last time, January 15th, it was 12 degrees.
Right.
So we decided to put it off and change it to April 4th. And this is all about honoring Martin Luther King.
That's correct.
And that is the 50th anniversary of his assassination.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what are you planning on doing in order to honor him on that day?
Okay, we're gonna meet at 7:30 at post 5:15, and we're gonna have breakfast. Then Sheriff Wooten is gonna escort us out to Oak Grove Cemetery, and you'll have directions posted for it.
Okay.
It's near West Green. We're gonna meet up out there, and we are not gonna do so much work this time as have a ceremony.
Right.
We've got several speakers slated. We've got some singers slated. We've got some events that we want to do. We're going to do a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of documentation, and at the end we're going to have a scavenger hunt to show some of the children and other older folks too who all's buried out there. We've got African American slaves buried out there, and it's important that they know that and see it.
And that they're documented. I mean, they haven't been forgotten by any means.
Not at all.
So if somebody wants to participate, if they want to volunteer and help out in any way, what do they need to do?
They can contact you. They can contact me.
That's right.
They can contact Terrell Jacobs or Jerome Lovey.
Okay.
And I'm sure those numbers will be posted somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Do I need to tell the number?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have them posted. And then also they could call like our city after hours number, that 384-3302, and we'll get the numbers to them too. So if you want to volunteer, we have a way of getting a hold of us.
That's it.
So what has already been done at the cemetery as far as a little bit of cleanup or anything like that? What's already been done out there?
The crew that we use out at Douglas City Cemetery has already been out there, and we've gotten the heavy work out of the way.
Okay.
We've done a lot of cleaning up, a lot of chainsaw work. We've removed fences. Post 515 has erected a sign saying that it's Oak Grove Cemetery, and
Oh, wow.
that way we know where we're at.
Right.
But we've got the heavy stuff out of the way. This next event is more for, let's celebrate Dr. King
Right.
and have a ceremony doing that.
Okay. And, well, you've already shared a little bit of the ceremony. What is some more things that you plan to do that day to honor Dr. King?
Well, once we get out there, we're going to have to park about 200 yards away from the cemetery because there's no parking down there to have everybody there. And we're going to join arms and march to the cemetery down the dirt road. And Commissioner Durham is going to lead us in some songs. And once we get there, we will have our events and do our ceremony.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like y'all have about got that morning planned. You said they will meet at the American Legion Post 515
7:30.
at 7:30. They are asking that people call ahead of time so that we will know how many to prepare breakfast for that morning.
Right.
You can again call Henry or either contact Jerome Lovin if you're planning on volunteering and also being a participant in the breakfast. And then you will caravan out to Oak Grove Cemetery, which is located somewhere in between here and where?
It's between West Green and Broston.
West Green and Broston.
Closer to West Green. It's on Oak Grove Cemetery Road.
Okay. And then we will march to the cemetery.
Well, everybody needs to dress accordingly. I mean, we're going to be outside.
Right.
You're still going to be doing a little bit of raking,
Okay.
a little bit of broom work. So bring some gloves.
Yes.
Have a good attitude, and we're going to have a good time.
Now, do they need to bring water or anything like that in case?
We'll supply all that. Now, if somebody wants to bring something, they're more than welcome to do it.
Right.
But we will have water available.
Okay. And then, and you said you would also be documenting. So what is the documenting?
We're doing a map of the cemetery itself and
Okay.
documenting each individual that's buried there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about that day or anything you want to share?
Well, if you want to learn some history of a little bit of Coffee County that most folks don't know, come on out and enjoy and celebrate Martin Luther King with us.
And enjoy the outdoors.
There you go. Over weather's going to be good.
Yes. All right. And we are hoping for a beautiful day that day.
There you go.
All right, Henry. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
We appreciate it.
All right.
We'll be right back after this.
One time.
Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show, and we are here now with Miss Kim Clayton, the Director of Personnel and Public Relations with Coffee County Board, the Coffee County Board of Education. Thanks for being here, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me. I haven't been here in a while. Good to be back.
Yeah, well, it's that time of the year, getting near the end of the school year, but it's also a busy time of the year for you. So tell me what's going on.
It is. You know, it seems like we just get our school year going, and then after Christmas, we start working on budgets and staffing for the next school year. So since it's March, we're heavy into staffing and working on next school year.
Okay.
And with our job fair coming up this Saturday, you know, I'm glad you invited me to come this morning so we can talk about what we need,
Right.
you know, with teachers. And, you know, this past year we hired 82 new teachers. I never would have
Oh,
thought
wow.
we would have that many, but we did. And, you know, we're not a little school system anymore. We're a medium-sized school system with almost 7,800 students and close to 1,200 employees.
Wow.
And we hire teachers from different communities too. So sometimes they do leave us and go back to their home community, but then again, some stay with us because they love us so much and want to
Right.
be with us. But another reason we have turnover is with the business and industry here in Coffee County, which we're so fortunate to have so much of that spouses are transferred. So obviously they're going to take their
yeah.
husband or wife with them, and we lose them in that respect. And then of course there's always the retirees that leave us at the end of a school year. So we are hot and heavy into staffing, trying to get our school staffed.
Do we really have like a shortage right now, as far as in the school system here?
Sadly, yes. This is my 26th year doing this, and I really have seen it change. There used to be an abundance of applicants in education, especially in early childhood, and I don't see that as much. In fact, yesterday I was at Georgia Southern University attending their job fair, and you can just tell by the attendance of those at the job fair it's not what it used to be,
Right.
which is sad to me because teaching is such a wonderful profession, and where would we be without teachers?
That's
so
right.
we
You're
need
right.
to continually work on growing our own, as we say, that folks will go into education. But there still are wonderful candidates out there, and yesterday we saw
yes.
some extremely wonderful candidates. And we always have student teachers in our system, usually from Valdosta State and Georgia Southwestern in Americus. So we tap into that group and
Okay.
try to hire early on. But yes, I would have to say there is a shortage compared to what it used to be.
And not necessarily just in Coffee County. I
Not
mean,
just in
everywhere.
Coffee County.
Right.
Talking
right.
with other human resources directors from across the state, we see it. And you know, in 08, 09, when the budgets went south, so to speak, there seemed to be more teachers than jobs, and now it's
Right.
kind of turned around. And I think all of us in HR were starting earlier and earlier to see what needs we're going to have and try to tap into folks so we
Okay.
get the best candidates.
Well, that kind of leads into my next question. If somebody wants to become a teacher, what do they actually need to do? What do they need to do?
Well, it's not as hard as it seems. Like career switchers is what I call them.
Right.
You know, we did a teaching seminar recently at the Chamber. We've done that the past couple of years, and we have a good group of folks from our community that are working in other professions, but they've always thought of being a teacher. So if you have a 4-year degree, that's the first thing. And then number one, you need to decide what you want to teach.
Right.
And as I tell those folks that I speak with, if you're going to spend the time and money to be a career switcher and go into education, go into what you want to teach.
Exactly.
So obviously,
Do what you love.
Do what you love, exactly. And we have hired some wonderful folks through alternative certification, especially at our secondary level at the high school. We have some accountants out there that are obviously
wow.
teaching math that love it. And they love their quality of life now in that it's not as hectic as it was when they were in the private sector, but they
Right.
feel like they're making a difference because they can see, as the teachers will tell you, the bulb goes off with their students when they learn something. So they feel like it's more rewarding in being a
Okay.
teacher. But back to your question of me, if you have a 4-year degree, a 2.5 GPA is the minimum requirement, and that's a state requirement. I can talk to you about steps to being a teacher. There are
wow.
assessment tests that you have to pass in your content. There's some basic skills tests, and there's some ethics tests. But again, it's not as hard as it seems, and this is the time of year to start working on it if you're interested in being a teacher.
Oh, wow, wow. Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the job fair coming up this Saturday.
It is this Saturday, and it's going to be in the auditorium of Coffee Middle School. It's from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., and it's a drop-in job fair. And if you remember, we used to do it at Central Square for years and years
Right.
and years. And then again, back to 08, 09, when the budgets kind of fell apart, we decided we didn't want to do a job fair if we weren't sure how many positions we could fill. We had to
Correct.
really scrutinize. But now our budget is much healthier than it has been. We're so excited about that. And so we started the job fair again last year, and we had over 100 participants come.
Oh, wow.
And it does help too that leading up to our job fair, I am traveling to colleges and universities and personally meeting some of the applicants and working with the Career Center directors and publicizing our job fair so folks will come this
Okay.
Saturday. And the way we do it, all of our schools are represented, our principals and assistant principals are there, and folks just come in and sign in by their area of interest, and then they meet with the schools that they would like to talk with about a job for
Okay.
next year. But we have, our 8 elementary schools, Coffee Middle, 9th grade, high school. Our Career Academy and Alternative School don't have any vacancies right now, but they'll probably be there just, to talk with folks. And I will also have a table set up to talk about alternative certification, what we just mentioned.
Okay.
If folks, want to talk to me about what they need to do. But it's a great way. It's kind of our kickoff to hiring for next school year, and the principals really get into it and really make some major decisions in filling vacancies.
Okay. Now, on Saturday, will you actually be taking applications, or if someone wants to apply, how does that work? Do
Well,
they
what
need to
we've
see you?
asked our applicants to do is to bring a resume with them.
Okay.
And if they would, to go ahead and fill out one of our online applications, which if you go to our website, coffee.k12.ga.us, and you look for the word employment, it's very easy, and you'll see the words apply online.
Okay.
And all of our current vacancies are posted. And you can either go to the vacancy and click on apply. It's real simple, and it takes you through the online application. Or if you don't see something listed that you're interested in, you still can apply with us and just select the area that you're interested in.
Okay.
It'll be out there for a year, and our principals search by certification area to see folks listed, because between now and when school starts again, things are going to change.
Right,
People
right,
are going
correct.
to, they might resign, or we open up some positions due to enrollment numbers. Anything can happen. So it's either apply based on a vacancy we have posted, or just apply for a general position. If something opened up in your area, your application is going to be out there and ready, and the principals will see it.
Okay, that
So,
sounds like
yeah,
a really good
yeah.
idea there.
Yeah.
Well, we're calling this the teacher job fair, but are there other positions that people could apply for online, or either go to the job fair?
There are. The job fair, we really just want teacher applicants to
Oh,
come
okay,
this
okay.
Saturday. But, we have positions every year, a paraprofessional or school nutrition.
Okay.
Sometimes we have secretarial positions, bus drivers. There's all sorts of positions, and there's applications out there for all of those.
Right.
I will say for paraprofessionals, because I'm asked this quite a bit, folks always would like to that's a great way to get into the system as a paraprofessional.
Right.
But there are requirements for that now. You either have a 2-year degree, your associate's degree, or if you have 60 semester hours or 90 quarter hours. If you don't have that, you have to take a paraprofessional test. And if you call me, I'll be glad to explain the information. It's a basic reading, writing, and math test. But this
Okay.
is a state requirement. This isn't just Coffee County Schools.
Right.
So
Okay.
if you don't meet the education, you have to pass the assessment test.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that is some great information that you've shared with us. Tell everybody one more time when the job fair is.
It is this Saturday, March 24th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the auditorium of Coffee Middle School. Plenty of parking out
Yes.
there. And we would love to have you. Again, it's a drop-in. You don't have to come at a specific time. We will be there until 1 o'clock. I remember last year we were there even later. We had a lot of folks there, and we didn't want to miss anybody.
It's really
So,
good. Well, I hope you get an awesome turnout
Thank you.
and that
Thank you.
teachers get those resumes ready
Right.
and come see Kim on
yes,
Saturday.
Please do. We look forward to having you.
All right. Well, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you for having me. I enjoyed it.
We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. We do have a few announcements that we'd like to make for the community. Just a little bit of reminders for everybody. This weekend on Saturday, March the 24th, we have the Tiny Tot Egg Hunt coming up at J.C. Adams Municipal Park at the soccer field. If you want to have photos made with the Easter Bunny and some more characters, make sure that you are there by 10 a.m. And then also make sure you are there no later than 11 a.m. because the hunt will start at 11 a.m. sharp. On March the 24th, in addition to the Tiny Tot Egg Hunt, we also have auditions for the Feed the Need variety show at the Martin Center. For more information about the variety show, please call 912-384-6070. The March 28th and the April History at High Noon has been canceled. That's normally scheduled at the Heritage Station Museum. But just to let you know ahead of time, we will not have History at High Noon in March or in April. On March the 30th, the City of Douglas offices will be closed for Good Friday. On April the 7th, we will have the Residential Community Junk Drop-Off Day. Anyone who is a resident of the City of Douglas will be able to drop off large items at the City Pole Yard from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. that day. And then also on April the 13th through the 15th, the Recreation Department has a basketball tournament that is scheduled to take place at Central Square Gymnasium. For more information, you can contact the Recreation Department at 912-384-5978. And again, we thank you for tuning in to this segment of the Douglas on My Mind show. See you next month.